right, seniors, it is the final countdown. We are in the home stretch for you all of high school. We are wrapping things up. So in this video, we're going to talk about what our last assignments for SCS are going to look like. And with that, we're going to review some changes to the schedule and talk a little bit about what your final graded assignments are going to be. We're going to talk about what the enrollment checklist items are, and I'm going to go over my expectations for what it means when you finish those checklist items. And then I'm going to introduce some resources that are available to you to help you complete the enrollment checklist. Before we jump into that, though, you guys, oh my gosh, all of these posts that you all did, you all went like above and beyond in terms of like creativity and celebration. I cannot tell you how much seeing all of these just like lifted my spirits. My mom has been checking the Hiawatha Facebook page every day to see like which students are going to be posted. Like this has just been such a way for our whole community to celebrate and put you all at the center. I can't tell you how happy this has made me. And also there's like no rhyme or reason to which people I put on this slide. It was just like at the time I made this, the last 4 people that were on Facebook. So like I didn't pick my favorite students or anything. It was just like who was there? Don't worry. All right, let's talk about some changes to the end of the year. First of all, as you've probably heard, senior finals are going to happen the week of May 11th, but there is no final in SCS. Like what? We've never had a test. We're not going to like have a weird final now. Your last graded assignment is going to be the enrollment checklist. And I've had to, because of the way that we're doing the end of the school year, I've had to adjust the deadline for that checklist. So instead of being due on May 29th, it now is going to be due by 10 a.m. on May 18th because I have to enter grades in Infinite Campus by noon on May 18th. So I literally have given you as much time as I am allowed to. That being said, don't freak out, right? A lot of you have colleges with June 1st deadlines. A lot of you are still in the process of making a decision, and all of that is okay. If you don't finish your enrollment checklist by May 18th, what will happen is that your SCS grade is going to be entered as an incomplete, but you still have until June 5th to finish that checklist and to get your A, your B, your pass, whatever it is, right? So don't freak out if you don't have to make a decision till June 1st. If you're still working on some things, that's totally fine. Like, you're going to be able to finish it, I promise. And I also want you to remember the ultimate purpose of this enrollment checklist assignment is not to like get a grade, right? It's not to like get an A. It's not to do a thing for high school because that's what you have to do. The purpose of this assignment is to like add a layer of accountability to make sure that you get done everything you need to get done to enroll in college. Because remember, you don't just show up on a random day in the fall and expect things to be good to go. There is a lot of tiny little steps that have to happen between now and then, and the enrollment checklist makes sure that you know what those steps are and gives you some added accountability for making sure that they get done. So knowing all of that, don't rush your decision for the grade. If you see that May 18th deadline and you start to panic and you're like, I'm not going to be able to finish all of this, I don't want you to rush through these tasks and do kind of a sloppy job on them because you feel like you have to get the grade. If you need to take the incomplete in order to ensure that you get everything done, that's okay. And to kind of back that up, I'm adding this participation grade of 100 points. So if you are someone who is in good contact with me, meaning you respond to my emails and my texts and my phone calls, you're letting me know what you're thinking, you're asking questions, I know what you're thinking about for college and where you're at in the process, you're going to get 100 points of participation by May 18th, whether or not you've done the enrollment checklist, okay? So there's going to be that little extra layer to your grade too. If you're freaking out and you still have questions about this, please reach out to me. The last thing that I want to have happen is that somebody doesn't reach out and just like is confused about what's going on. So please let me know if you've got questions about this part. All right, so what's on this checklist? First of all, there are kind of two boxes when you go in and look at the enrollment checklist. On the top, you're going to see some items where it says due on May 1st. Those are covered in other videos and in other places on Google Classroom, so I'm not going to talk about them right now. You can find that information in other places. What I am going to talk about are the items that are, say, now it says due by May 18th. Originally, it said due by May 29th. So the first thing that I need from you there is what I'm calling the data upload. That means that Naviance needs to be completely updated. You need to have a decision for every single school, either whether it was accepted or denied or waitlisted. I also need to see if you decided like not to apply to that school and you just never heard back. You need to try to remove that school or mark like there should be an option for withdrew along with accept and deny. But every single school in Naviance needs to be updated. You also need to make sure that every one of your financial aid packages is put into that financial aid tracker spreadsheet that we started working on like way back in February. So make sure all of your financial aid packages that you've gotten are entered in that spreadsheet, and then you share that spreadsheet back with me. I think a lot of you have been like working in that spreadsheet, but not very many of you have shared it, so make sure it's shared. Make sure that you accept your financial aid package. So what that means is that you log into your student portal and you actually are going to like click some buttons and let your college know that you are taking all of that financial aid that you've been offered. If you don't log in and click those buttons and let them know, they don't know to give you financial aid. So you need to make sure that you accept your financial aid package. The other financial aid thing that you need to do, and this is only for people who use the FAFSA, it's called entrance loan counseling and signing your master promissory note. So entrance loan counseling is basically this online module where you log in and it goes through all of this information about how you take out loans, expectations for when you pay your loans back. It tells you about the 6-month grace period. So it's a really, really good tool for you to learn some more about what student loans are like. The master promissory note is basically a contract that says that after you graduate, you will pay back whatever you borrow. And remember, you're never going to pay back $20,000 all at once unless you get some like really awesome job after you graduate and you have $20,000. In which case, maybe you can slide some of that towards your favorite college counselor. It would be appreciated. But anyway, it's a contract. It takes you about 10 minutes to do, and it says that, like, yes, I'm going to take out this money and I will eventually pay it back. All right, a couple of other items that are on this enrollment checklist. One is going to be the alumni counselor exit interview. That is going to be a Google form. I will email it to you. I will also put it on Google Classroom. And it's a survey that asks you about what kind of support you think you're going to need while you're in college, so that information can be shared with your alumni counselor and they will be able to better support you. One of the things on your enrollment checklist is to apply for work study if necessary, if that's something that you're planning on doing. You also need to register for orientation. So orientation traditionally would be an event where you would actually go to the college campus and get a tour. You would learn about all about the college's systems. You'd register for classes. Obviously, we are living in a very non-traditional year. So most colleges are holding orientation online, but every school kind of has a different process for what that looks like. Last thing you'll need to do is placement testing. So again, most schools require placement testing. At every school, it looks a little bit different. Some schools don't require that you do it until you show up on campus in the fall. Other schools, like every community college, requires that you complete placement testing before you even register for classes. So it'll be up to you to find out at your specific college what kind of placement testing is required, how you do it. In most cases, other than the AccuPlacer, so if you're going any place that does not require the AccuPlacer, placement testing is usually going to be available online. Quick note about the AccuPlacer. So because of social distancing practices and restrictions that we are following right now, the AccuPlacer, which is necessary for enrolling at any community college, in-person AccuPlacer testing is currently suspended, and colleges are all kind of handling that differently. So North Hennepin, for example, is saying like, we're just going to wait until we can do the AccuPlacer in person. They're not really like doing anything or changing anything right now. Hennepin Tech has figured out a way to offer the AccuPlacer online. So there is an option to do that. And if you are someone who's going to Hennepin Tech, I'm going to be reaching out to you to talk about what that looks like. And then MCTC, Normandale, and St. Paul College, which are probably our three biggest community college partners, they are getting rid of the AccuPlacer entirely for right now. So what they're doing is looking at your transcript and looking at GPAs and test scores to figure out what classes that they're going to place you in. So right now, there's actually no placement testing for those three colleges. And what they're doing is looking at your transcript, and then they're emailing students when they've looked at your transcript, figured out what classes you can take, and let you know when you can register for classes. So make sure if you're going to one of those three colleges, you're really watching your email, because that's where you're going to get information about when you can actually do orientation and sign up for classes. How can I get help? So I just went through 8 different tasks. I'm guessing you have some more questions about how you actually do all of those things. So what I've actually got for you, I've made us a shared Google Drive folder, and I've got extra information about each one of these tasks that I just talked about. And the slides that I'm talking through right now are available in there as well. So you can see there's instructions on how to accept your financial aid package, instructions on how to do entrance loan counseling, instructions on registering for orientation. So your first stop for more information, and before you complete any one of these enrollment checklist items, I'm going to say that again because it's really important. Before you complete any one of these enrollment checklist items, you need to go to this Google Drive folder, because there are going to be directions and frequently asked questions and resources for you there that'll provide a lot more information than I wanted to share right here, because otherwise it would be like a 35-minute video, which, like, let's be real, no one is sitting through a 35-minute video PowerPoint presentation. So this Google Drive folder is going to be your best friend. And then how else can you get help? Obviously, there's me. I'm still here. I'm going to continue to reach out through text and email and phone call. Please respond to those. With phone calls, I do usually try to schedule them in advance, and I'll either text you or email you the day before or the week before. But please, please, please be responding to those. Remember, I've got that 100-point participation grade that I'm giving you just for responding. So that's really important. Reach out to me with any questions that you have. You are always welcome to reach out to me if I haven't communicated with you that week. That's because I think that you're doing okay. So please reach out to me if you've got questions. And then office hours, of course, they're going to be held on Zoom every Thursday from 3 to 4. Lastly, though, you are your own best advocate. So if you need help, you have got to be the person who is asking for it. And that means you could be asking me. You also could be finding resources at your college. A lot of times throughout the enrollment process, my answer to your questions are going to be like, hey, let's see what the website of your college says. Let's email the Office of Admissions. Let's email the financial aid office and get information that way. You all are becoming adults. You are leaving high school. You are moving on to the next phase. And in that phase, that means that a lot of the answers that you're looking for are going to be available through your college and maybe not necessarily from the high school. And I will do whatever I can to help you get those answers. But you're going to need to be your own advocate here and do some research. I know all of you can do it. I'm so proud of everything you've done so far this year, and I am so excited to see how this year ends up. So I know I'll be talking to all of you individually over the next couple of weeks, but this is probably like the last time that I'm going to, kind of address you all as a class. So I just want to say thank you for being the class of 2020. Thank you for your resilience, for your persistence, for making me laugh. And I just really hope you all stay in contact. Have a good day, everybody.